She gave birth to black baby and her husband asked for a divorce. But what she did, nobody expected. Emily cradled the newborn against her chest, tears streaming down her face as the baby's tiny fingers curled around her hospital gown. She had imagined this moment so many times. Her husband's proud smile, his warm embrace as they marveled at the life they created together. But the room was cold, silent, except for the faint beeping of the monitor and the soft whimpering of the child. Then the door burst open. Adrien strode in his tailored emerald suit as crisp as ever, but his face was twisted with anger. Behind him stood a stunning blonde in a wedding gown, her hand resting possessively on his arm. Emily's heart sank. "Adrien," she whispered, "where have you been?" He didn't answer her. Instead, his eyes darted straight to the child in her arms. A dark-skinned baby. Adrien's jaw tightened, his knuckles white as he gripped a yellow envelope in his hand. "Who is the father?" he demanded, his voice cold and venomous. Emily flinched. "She's yours," she said harshly. Adrien let out a humorous laugh, the sound cutting through the air like glass. "Do I look like a fool to you, Emily?" he barked. "I can see with my own eyes. That child is not mine." The blonde beside him smirked, her fingers tightening on his arm. "Adrien, don't waste your time," she purred. "She's clearly been unfaithful. Give her what she deserves and let's go." Emily felt her world spinning. "No, I swear on my life. I never betrayed you," she cried, clutching the baby tighter. "Adrien, listen to me. She's ours." "Please," Adrien snapped. He threw the envelope onto the bed. The words, "You are divorced," screamed in bold red letters. "You have humiliated me for the last time. We're done, Emily. I've already moved on." The blonde leaned her head against Adrien's shoulder, her diamond earrings sparkling under the harsh hospital lights. "Darling, let's not stay in this filthy place. You have a new life now." She made her choices. Let her live with them. Emily's tears fell harder. "Adrien, you promised to love me in sickness and in health." "For better or for worse," she whispered. "I said those words to a woman I thought I knew," Adrien spat. "Clearly you're not her." The baby stirred in Emily's arms, letting out a soft cry. She rocked her gently, pressing her lips to the tiny forehead. "She's innocent," Emily choked out. "Don't hate her for something she didn't do." Adrien's eyes hardened. "I don't want anything to do with either of you," he said flatly. "Consider yourself erased from my life." Emily's sobs filled the room as Adrien turned to leave, his new bride clutching his arm triumphantly. As they reached the door, Emily's voice cracked through the suffocating air. "Adrien, one day you'll regret this." He paused for a moment, his back still to her. "I doubt it," he said coldly, then walked out without another word. Left alone in the sterile hospital room, Emily felt the weight of her world collapsing. But as she looked down at the tiny life in her arms, something shifted inside her. She wiped her tears and whispered, "Don't worry, my sweet girl. He doesn't want us. But I'll fight for you with everything I have." Her eyes burned, not just with pain, but with a flicker of determination. Emily sat in the sterile hospital room long after Adrien left, clutching her daughter as if the child were her last tether to the world. The divorce papers lay crumpled on the bed, their bold red letters still screaming at her, "You are divorced." She could have crumbled. She could have begged him to come back. But as the baby's tiny fingers wrapped around her own, something deep inside Emily snapped. "Number, I won't be broken. Not for him. Not for anyone." She pressed her lips to her daughter's forehead and whispered, "You and me against the world now." And in that moment, Emily made a vow. She wouldn't fight for Adrien's love anymore. She would fight for her child's future. The first few months were brutal. Emily had no family nearby, no friends willing to help, and her savings had been drained by Adrien's high-powered attorneys, who stripped her of nearly everything during the divorce. But she refused to let her baby girl go hungry. Emily took any job she could find, cleaning houses during the day, waiting tables at night. There were nights she slept only 2 hours holding her daughter in her arms in a cramped studio apartment. Her hands were raw from scrubbing floors and her feet blistered from endless shifts. But every time she looked at her baby's face, she found the strength to keep going. Years passed. Emily saved every penny she could, taking online courses late into the night once her daughter Amara was asleep. She learned bookkeeping, then marketing, then real estate. One year, she risked everything to start her own cleaning business. It nearly failed, but Emily refused to let it. She worked tirelessly, built a reputation for honesty and excellence, and within 5 years, she wasn't cleaning houses anymore. She was managing a staff of 50. Emily had gone from broke and abandoned to a self-made millionaire. Meanwhile, Adrien's life had begun to unravel. The woman he left Emily for was not the devoted partner he imagined. She drained his accounts, cheated on him openly, and filed for divorce when his wealth ran out after a series of bad investments. Adrien was left alone, bankrupt, and bitter. 15 years after that day in the hospital, Adrien walked into a crowded auditorium. He had been invited as a guest at a prestigious youth entrepreneurship event, not knowing who the keynote speaker was. As the lights dimmed, a confident young girl walked onto the stage. She was 16, her posture graceful, her voice calm and commanding. "Good evening," she began. "My name is Amara Lawson, and today I want to talk about turning pain into power." Adrien froze in his seat. Amara. His breath caught as he recognized the curve of her jaw, the fire in her eyes, his fire. The daughter he had abandoned was now standing before a room full of leaders, being celebrated for founding her own youth initiative to help underprivileged children. When Emily walked onto the stage to embrace her daughter, the room erupted in applause. Adrien's heart twisted. Emily looked stunning, poised, radiant in a tailored suit. Nothing like the broken woman he had left behind in that hospital room. After the event, Adrien pushed through the crowd to approach her. "Emily," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. She turned, her eyes cool but calm. "Adrien," she replied, her tone steady. He hesitated. She's really mine, isn't she?" "Yes," Emily said simply. "She always was. But you were too blinded by your own assumptions to see it." Adrien's voice cracked. "I made a mistake, Emily." You didn't make a mistake," she interrupted. "You made a choice, and so did I?" He looked at her, confused. Emily's eyes softened as she glanced at Amara, who was laughing with reporters. "You chose to abandon us," Emily said. "I chose to build a life for her where she'd never need you." "But what you did," Adrien whispered, his voice trembling. "Nobody expected it." Emily smiled faintly. "Neither did I, but pain teaches you how strong you really are." Adrien reached out, but Emily stepped back. "You don't get to rewrite the past, Adrien, and you don't get to come back just because you see what you lost. Please let me be part of her life," he begged. Emily shook her head. "You had your chance." As she walked away with her daughter, Adrien's knees buckled. He watched them leave, his heart breaking as he realized the truth. The woman he thought he destroyed had risen higher than he could ever reach, and the daughter he abandoned didn't even know his name. As Emily and Amara stepped into their limousine, Amara asked softly, "Mom, who was that man?" Emily looked out the window at Adrien's figure shrinking in the distance. "No one important," she said gently. "Let's go home." If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more emotional, dramatic, and unexpected tales. And let us know in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? We love hearing from all of you. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.